Hey everyone, what's going on? Coach Trev, the accountability coach. Looking forward to this week's workshop. I'm going to minimize now. Let me just check here. Hey everyone, what's going on? Live. Yep, and make sure that I'm not feeding back into this. So let's go back. Looks like I am live. Go home. Go to, yep, and here I am. Beautiful. All right, thank you. Let's see who's tuning in. All right, if you're watching this live, hold on, and let me just go ahead and get this started. Hey everyone, Coach Trev, the accountability coach, back to you with this week's workshop, how to walk into 2026 with momentum instead of starting from zero, right? So if you are watching this live, put hashtag live into the chat. If you're watching this in a replay, put hashtag replay, right? If you are watching this live, put hashtag live. If you're watching this on replay, put hashtag replay into the chat, all right? So let me just check here and see who's here. I'm excited about this. I know you are busy. Some folks are busy. This is the day before the holiday. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get started with this. All right. So, and for those of you, if you haven't registered, definitely register. That's going to be one of the key things I'm going to look at when we're talking about when we're talking about sending out the 5-week planner. All right. I'm going to be sending that out to you. So that's going to be key. This is for those that are live. Go to coachtrevlive.com. If you have not registered for this workshop, do that. I'll look at the registers and I'll be able to send out the 5-week planner. That 5-week planner is for those that are watching this live. All right. So looking forward to getting into this. Got everything set up. So let's go ahead and get this started. All right. So I'm going to just move this over slightly. Here we go, slight move, slide. All right, and I'm gonna pull this in just a wee bit closer. All right, good and good, wonderful. So these are all the, those slight adjustments there. All right, and we're here. All right, so hopefully no motion sickness, take some virtual Dramamine. All right, anyways, let's jump in. All right, I'm going to look into this. Let me share my screen. That way we can go ahead and get started. Boom. All right, so now I'm sharing the screen. Let me grab my window and let's go ahead and get started. Wonderful. So how to walk into 2026 with momentum instead of starting from zero. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. As I said, even if you're here for the first time, put that in there. Put that first time, hashtag first time. Okay, so that'll be good. Lets me know who is here and all that good stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and start this up. Now, let's get down to it. As we know, if you look at the calendar, we have just 5 weeks left in this year. 5 weeks. Do the math, that's 35 days. That's not a lot of time, right? It really isn't. So instead of feeling overwhelmed, what we're going to do is take this opportunity. And this is going to be an open door, really. It's an open door to make those 35 days count. So think of it like this: 35 days to create momentum for 2026. So you can either start fresh or build on what we've already accomplished. Now, remember, even small actions today can lead to big impacts tomorrow. So let's embrace that time and make us work for it. Now, when you think about those 35 days, really, most people, they're already checked out. They're planning to survive. They're into the holiday, and it's okay. They're like, you know what? I'll see this on a replay or what have you. But for those of you that are taking the time to watch this replay that are here, this is going to really have an impact on you. So most people out there, they're really planning to survive. That's what they're doing. And so with only 5 weeks in 2025, it's really crucial to begin to make that shift. Not even begin, but to shift your mindset from just merely thriving, from merely surviving to thriving. Also, we want to have the mindset to set a strong foundation for the year that's ahead. So here is the problem. Now, Starting strong, that requires a massive amount of energy reserve. So a lot of times there are many people that, because of the holidays, the malaise, all the things that they're doing, they exhaust themselves before the new year. Then that makes it impossible for them to really gain momentum. So if you think about this, if you finish 2025 depleted, you're already starting 2026 behind. It's a fact. And those New Year resolutions that you make, whether it's health or whether it's monetarily, financial, personal, all of them fail by February, even earlier. You know, there is actually a Quitters Day that they have on there. It's Resolution Quitters Day. You can look it up. Truly, there is a Quitters Day for those that make resolutions. Now, why is it that they fail by that time? It's because they're making them from a point of exhaustion, not energy. You're making them from a point of depletion and not strength. So that's a lot of times why it fails. Now, this is what we do. So next weeks are the foundation. They're really the center point. That's what we're going to build on, because you're finishing strong in 1995, in 2025. It's 2025. See, that's going to be crucial for really setting up a positive tone, a strong tone for 2026. So when you think about it, it's about creating that solid base that fosters that growth. Right? This is the framework that we're building today. Finishing strong equals starting strong. So we don't want to finish exhausted, because that equals starting behind. Let's finish strong and start strong. Right? So looking at this, what does finishing strong mean? Because we want to define that. So it means it's about preserving your energy. All right, preserving your energy and your health. Let's understand that health does equal wealth, and it's not just about putting more hours on the calendar. It's about really having that balance of your health and putting and managing what you have, managing your energy properly as you flow and wrap up the year. So as you're wrapping it up, finishing strong doesn't mean that you're going to be working harder for 5 more weeks, meaning that, okay, I'm going to be burning the midnight oil for these next 5 weeks. Doesn't mean that you're going to grind until the 31st and then massive crash. That's not what this is about. This is about really accomplishing what actually matters, what's meaningful, and protecting your energy. It's about walking into 2026 with wins on the board and gas in the tank. Can you imagine that? Not on E, but actually ahead. It's changing your mindset from surviving to thriving. So here's what we're going to cover. All right. You're going to learn about the focus framework, how to identify 3 to 5 things. We're going to talk about the power reserve strategy. All right. So none of this is fluff. All right. The power reserve is making sure that you don't hit zero. It's allocating your limited energy. We're going to talk about the chaos navigation plan. All right, handling your obligations and the year-end chaos. We're also going to talk about the forward motion blueprint, how to finish 2025 with wins so 2026 is ahead, and the boundary playbook so that you have your scripts when people try to drain your energy. So what's different about this? So I've been coaching for about 20 years. I've been coaching high performers, executives, entrepreneurs, staff, management, all levels. All right. And the pattern I've seen is that people grind, they survive, they tell themselves they're going to finish strong, but they're finishing on E. By the time January 1st comes up, there's nothing left, and they're creating resolutions that are empty. So what makes this different is that this workshop that I'm giving you, the information you're getting, is going to be a 5-week game plan to finish what matters while protecting your energy. Nothing that's going to be some flair. This is real planning that we're doing. So everything right now does feel urgent, but there's only 3 to 5 things that actually matter in these 5 weeks. So we're going to focus on what drives genuine progress and cancels distractions. That's what's important. Now, first thing we're going to talk about is the focus frame, right? So if you're with me in the chat, put a 1 in the chat, making sure I'm not losing you. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you are with me, all right? Okay, good, and good. Now, the focus framework. And remember, feel free to take some screenshots, and the replay will be here. So the focus framework, what it's designed to do is help you identify your top priorities, canceling out any noise pollution. All right, and noise pollution are the things that get in the way that we qualify as noise. All right, this is going to really make sure you focus on dedicating your energy towards what truly matters. So now we're going to ask in the focus framework, we're going to ask 3 questions. All right, ready? Here we go. Let me take a drink. All right. Number 1, if you only accomplish one thing before December 31st, what would move the needle the most? All right, that one thing. Now, this question, this forces you to get real impact. Now, if you're watching this on a replay, pause and think about this. Really take the time, take a minute and think about this. What's that one thing that needs to be done before the 31st? All right, what moves the needle? So next, what will you regret not doing if you don't do it in the next 5 weeks? All right, so this question, what it does, it taps into what you know deep down that's important. So what will you regret not doing if it's not done in those next 5 weeks? Okay, next. Third thing, what can only be done in 2025 versus what can wait until January? That's important right there. If you stop and think about this, and as I said, if you're watching this replay, pause this and think about it. What can only be done in 2025 right now, between now and December 31st, versus what can wait until January? These 3 questions, what they do is they give you real priorities. So that's your focus framework. All right. So now here it is. You got your 3 to 5 priorities. So as it says, you're watching this here. What I want you to do is take a note of this, but I want you to come back to this. I want you to write down now. If you've got time, you're hearing, you've got a pen, you've got your notebook, your journal. So this is what I want you to do. Okay. Want you to do this is I want you to write down now 1 to 2 professional priorities. What are those key things? Business, job, entrepreneur, whatever. All right. Write 1 to 2 personal and write 1 relationship priority. That's it. Now here's the critical part. Everything else, you have the permission to say no, postpone, or just half step it. But you have to think about this. This is key. If everything is a priority, then nothing is a priority. I'll say that again. If everything is priority, then nothing is a priority. So take the time, write down these 3 to 5 priorities. Done deal, right? Now, let's talk about your energy. So your energy is limited for the next 5 weeks. I mean, you got Thanksgiving tomorrow, you got holidays, work, family, all these things really are coming for your energy. All that alone, that's your energy. Then the holidays, it's work, family, all of it. You need strategy. But because here's what happens most. Most people burn through their reserves in the first 2 weeks, and then they're running on fumes for the rest of December. So you've got to recognize your limited energy. And think about that. Recognizing your limit. That means identifying, keying it in, making sure that you're developing a strategy to protect yourself against any burnout and really focus on having the mindset to make progress. So that's what we're doing here in this moment. Now, let's talk about the power reserve framework. Now, there's going to be a number of priorities when it comes to managing your energy. All right, managing power, managing reserves, right? So let's start with the high priority. Now, high priority tasks, they require immediate attention and focus. See, these are those critical items that contribute significantly to your goals. And these are things that should be scheduled during your peak energy periods. Now, if you're not sure when your peak energy period is, be sure to check out a previous workshop that I did titled the Energy Management Secret. We talked about the peak windows, identifying it, and then focusing your deep work on that. So now you've got your high priority, right? Now, the next thing we have is going to be your medium priority. Now, medium priority tasks, those are the important ones, but they can be addressed later. They can be pushed down a little further. So you're allocating time for these tasks. What that does, it helps you to maintain progress really without the case of overwhelming your schedule. all right? And what it does is helps you to continue to stack wins. It gives you that consistent advancement. That's important. Now you have your low priority. Now, low priority tasks, those are the things that should be handled when, capacity is low. So if this is checking mail or responding back or replying received or something or checking text, low priority. These are the non-urgent things, and many times they can be postponed so that your energy is focused on higher priorities. So that's a key thing. Now, there's also no priority. Now, no priority means saying no or delegate. And here's the critical rule. Here's the critical rule. December 23rd and 31st, those should be low energy activities. That's the recovery week for you to enter into 2026 strong, right? It's making sense. This is making sense. Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a 1 in the chat, right? Now, perfect storm. So now that we've covered those two frameworks here, we covered the focus framework and the power reserves. Talk about the perfect storm. So now we have the chaotic demands of the holiday season. That's coming upon us. We're just a day away. That requires really strategic planning and energy management so that you can have momentum and have a successful start for 2026. So what is that plan? Now, starting tomorrow, you've got Thanksgiving chaos, you got the Black Friday madness, you've got December, you've got the December obligations, and then, of course, you've also got holiday parties, work deadlines, family expectations. Everyone needs something. Now, navigating this chaos, it really requires clear boundaries and proactive decisions, all right? So we're going to learn to prioritize wisely and protect your energy amidst all these pushes. So let's dive into the chaos navigation rules. Here we go. Fine. So let's sail through this. Now, first and foremost, what we're going to do is decide what you're saying yes to. That's important. Decide what you are saying yes to when it comes to this, right? So by setting that clear boundary, what it does is it allows you to allocate your time and energy where it truly matters, right? And then we're going to build in recovery days, especially after Thanksgiving. Now, these are essential because it gives you space to recharge and regain your balance amongst all the holidays things that you're dealing with, right? Now, you don't want to really schedule any critical work during peak chaos weeks. Keep your energy work, keep those critical things for past that. This is how we're really defining, okay, we know that there's going to be some chaos weeks. Don't schedule anything during that time, all right? You want to protect yourself and protect your most important tasks from being overshadowed by any holiday rush or things along those lines. Making sense? So now these rules, what they do is they help you grounded and keep you focused. So decide in advance what you're saying yes to, building your recovery days, and don't schedule critical work. Oop. I had no idea this was on there. Don't schedule critical work. I had no idea. Don't schedule critical work for those chaos weeks. All right. Now, moving forward. Come on. Here we go. Now, let's continue on with the chaos weeks. Fourth, plan your no strategy now. I know you're saying, well, what do you mean by my no strategy? That means, what are you going to say no? Before people even ask, saying, you can't, because you can't do everything. You have to protect your energy and show up for what matters. So you have to plan your yes now, and you've got to plan your no now. That's amazing. All right. So these are some things that you can say and move forward when people try to drain you. So this is the busiest season. So everyone says, they'll ask you, can you take this on before the year end? Can you help with this holiday thing? Hey, just one more favor I can ask? And then some of us have heard this one. I know I've heard this from corporate world. Since you're already doing X, since you're already doing X, like, no, we're gonna pass on. So this is the script that you can use here. We call it boundary plate. So script number one, let's go through this. It says, I appreciate your requests, but I must prioritize my current commitments. So this right here, it allows you, one, to acknowledge and confirm that it acknowledges the ask. It still enforces your boundaries. So that's a key thing. People do want to be acknowledged, so you want to do that. Script 2, thank you for thinking of me, but I can't take this on right now. So that's what we call a polite way to decline without feeling guilty and taking on that extra energy. Third one, I'll need to check my schedule before committing. So this right here, that gives you time to really evaluate your availability before making a decision. And if you're not prepared, that almost really gets you to line up your no, if you will, right? So remember this, and this has its own slide. Remember, no is a complete sentence. You can tell someone no without giving them and dealing with the explanation. You don't have to deal with any of this or all of that, all right? Your energy is your responsibility. You want to make sure that you're focused on protecting that and setting those clear boundaries. That is key. Now, one of the last frameworks here, so thank you for sticking with me, is this: why forward motion matters. So when you finish strong in 2026 with wins already on the board, with energy in your tank and forward motion already started, it's really going to help you, because this matters. When you finish depleted, you start from zero. You're starting from exhausted. You're building everything from scratch. So what I'm emphasizing this is that momentum builds momentum. So that's why these 5 weeks are so critical. Right. So this is the last one. This is the 5-week forward motion blueprint. All right. So let's dive into this. All right. Here we go. Now, if I'm going too fast, let me know. Any questions in the chat? I don't see anything in the chat. All right. All right, we're good. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is set priorities. So you're identifying your key priorities for the next 5 weeks. That's essential. All right. So this focus will help you really channel your energy where it matters most. So you got to ask yourself, what's the most critical areas for you to address right now? Next, we aim for quick wins. These are short-term victories that are crucial in building momentum and maintaining your energies as you approach New Year. They don't have to be massive. They just have to be small. They just have to be wins. Small wins can lead to significant progress. It's not about the magnitude, it's about the momentum. And finally, it's finishing strong. So completing necessary tasks and preparing for recovery, that will set us up for success in 2026. Because the aim here is to really enter the new year, not just ready, but we want to enter rejuvenated, full of having that confidence, that push, that thrive here. So this blueprint is about maintaining the momentum we've worked so hard to build. We want to ensure that we're starting 2026 with energy and with clarity. So now that you have the 5-week blueprint, let's spell this out here, okay? Here it is. Now, week 1, you finalize your 3 to 5 priorities. That's this week, this month, right? Week 2, knock out a quick win, number 1, right? So that's quick. Week 3, you make progress on priority number 2. Now, week 4, December 26th, we finish priority number 3. In week 5, remember, we talked about this: rest, recover, and celebrate. You're done. You're not grinding, you're not catching up, you're done. The last week is for recovery. That's important. So, you know that. Now, so we achieve these 3 to 5 wins, we maintain energy above 50%, and you have clear priorities for Q1, and that ensures your successful start of the year. So, all right, you're at the decision. So you've got 2 paths that you can choose. Path 1, you can survive, push through, grind, maybe make it to January, and you can start 2026 depleted or from zero. Or you can do path 2. And what's path 2? It's execute your plan, protect your energy, accomplish what matters, starting 2026 with momentum. So You start 26 with momentum, you're already ahead. We know right now you can't get more weeks. You cannot add time to 2025. You have 35 days. So the question is, do I have enough time? The question is, what are you going to do with the time you have? You have to choose now. So before we leave today, we've got some action steps. And I want you to do these Friday. Yes, Friday. After Thanksgiving, before the work chaos resumes on Monday, we've got to do. You've got to write down your 3 to 5 priorities. All right. So here it is. Write down your 3 to 5 priorities. All right. 2, block out your peak performance windows on your calendar. 3, decide what you're saying no to. You've got to be specific. All right. 4, schedule recovery time for December 23rd through the 31st. Make it non-negotiable. Do this Friday. Trust me. You'll thank yourself on January 1st before all the chaos happens. So your 5-week planner, what it does, it equips you with the tools for you to navigate the final weeks of 2025 and you starting 2026 with clarity and with momentum. Now, for everyone that's here, that's live, because this is not included in the recording, I'm going to send you the 5-week planner. This is going to help equip you with. It's a PDF. It's going to be week-by-week planning pages. It gives you a power reserve tracking worksheet, focus framework template, and a boundary point. Right? So I'm going to work on that, get that out to you directly. If you're here, I'm looking here. I'll check. I'll be also checking the registration. I'll send it to those that have registered. If you're watching this here, if you're watching this, and I'll make an exception. I'll make an exception this one time. If you're watching this and you really want it, go to 𝐚𝐫𝐞𝐳.com and register for the workshop. Because I know how many people register. I know before, I know after. I get reminders, I get that. If I get some registrations before, just make it as soon as possible. We'll make it as soon as possible. I'll send you the 5-week plan, right? So be sure you register, and I will be checking from this point forward. I'll be checking to see who registered right before this and move forward to that, all right? So those will be the people that get the 5-week planner. Now, so this is a time for Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Let me know. And so a lot of this may say, yeah, this was a lot of material that I did give you. So what I may look to do, I may break this down week by week over the next coming weeks between now and the end of the year, so that each portion of the framework gets its own time. Or I may go live as well on a couple of platforms as well. So if you're not following me, be sure you follow, like, subscribe, and share this. Be sure you're following me on multiple platforms. On Facebook, Instagram, Chit Chat, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Fanbase. I'm on multiple platforms, Threads. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. So you're not following me there. You're not following me, putting on the bells for notifications. Do that now. That way you'll know when I talk about things. And I post every day, so you need that daily encouragement. So be sure you're receiving that, liking that, commenting, and sharing on those things, right? So that's going to be a key thing. Right? Now, I want to thank you all for showing up tonight. If you are interested, if you want to go deeper and you're serious about finishing strong, I want to work with a small number of private clients, right? What we do is we'll build your personal game or your personalized game plan. We meet weekly, and I'll hold you accountable. See, real support this is going to be real support that actually moves the needle. Now, if you're done with the start-stop cycle and you're ready for like real accountability, book a strategy call with me. Go to talkwithtrevor.com. That's talkwithtrevor.com. What we'll do is we'll build our plan, and you'll see the contact info is right there. We'll build our plan and we'll execute. That's going to be the key thing. We'll make sure that these 35 days, these next 5 weeks really have an impact, right? So I want to thank you all so much. And as I said, let me stop the share. I want to thank you all so much. And I may just put this into 30 minutes. The replay will be up immediately, so you can come back here if you have any questions. feel free to message me, to DM me. If you're this, I'll also be checking the chat. So if you put #live or #replay after your question, I'll get a notification that you've done that, and I'll reach out to you to respond to your question. So put them in the chat, leave comments, all of those things there. All right. And as I said, I'll make an exception. Using the 5-week planner that I have is only for those who attended. But if you're interested and you have not registered, be sure to register for the workshop. I'll get a notification for that, and I will send you the 5-week planner, right? And that'll be only for a short period. So I may just have it for the next 24 to 48 hours, okay? So now go enjoy your holiday. I want to thank you all so much. Make sure you put this into effect. Take action. Make the 35 days count. That's going to be key. Right? So I want to thank you all so much. Happy holidays, and I will talk to you soon.